Hello! Well, in this lesson we are going to be revising multiplying by a whole number by 10 and 100. But let's start off with a starter where we're revising column addition. So I've given you 3 questions to just have a go at. Pause the video please and have a go on a piece of paper. Go! Well, I hope you did have a go. Let's go through them now and see what we think. Well, first one, 745, add 1,630. So our first job is to line them up really neatly, making sure that the ones are above the ones, the tens are above the tens. Okay, 5 add 0 is 5, 4 add 3 is 7, 7 add 6 is 13. Ooh, where shall I write this 13? Shall I write it? No. 7 add 6 is 13. But what we need to do is we can only put, 7 add 6 is 13, only one digit in one column, so the 1 goes across. We remember then 1 add nothing, but there's 1 here already, so 2,375. I hope you got that as well. Oh, level 2, we've got some missing digits. So what are we doing here? Let's change the colour for this one so we don't get mixed up. Right, 5 and for the first one, I've got to remember to always start on the right hand side, this side, with the units, if that's the smallest column. So 5 add something equals 7. 7 take away 5 is 2. 2 add 3 is 5. 4 add something equals 5. 4 add 1. Okay, make myself a bit of space because we've got our level 3, our challenge level question here, and go back to purple. So, which side shall I start with? Well, I must start over on this side. If the units, or the ones, the smallest column, that's where we start. So 6 add 8. 6 add 8 is 4. Hold on. 6 add 8 is 14. I see where the 4 comes from. We need to write it in underneath here. 14. Now, 2 add the 1. 2 add 1 add what makes 9. 2 add 1 is 3. 3 add 6. Did you get 6 there? Hope so. And what number add 3 makes 7? 4. Okay. Hope that went well. We've got some of those for your work, just as a little part of revising and keeping on going with some really important things like column addition. Okay, so our learning objective is to multiply a whole number by 1, or 10, or 100, and to understand that those are all related calculations. They're all, if you can do times 1, then you can do times 10, and you can do times 100, just understanding. Let's start off with multiplying a number by 1. So, here we've got a calculation. 13 times 1. Let's see what that means. Well, 13 times 1, if I represent it, if I draw it, I could draw 13 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 what? 13 ones. So 13 times 1 is 13. If I drew it another way, I could draw it like this. I could say 13 times 1 means one group of 13. And I draw my one group, a bit like a bar model, and inside, alright, well it's the number 13, one time, one group of 13, and that's 13, we just wrote 13, one group of 13. And this is the first important thing to know. Any number times 1 gives us the same number. So, I'll do the first one, and then can you pause the video and have a go at the others? 7 times 1, well, that's 7. I'll tell you what, you have a go at the others. Pause the video, you try. Okay, I hope you did pause the video. You'll get a lot more from it if you try them. So, I remember in the rule, any number times 1 gives us the same number. 39 times 1 is 39. 1 times 48, multiplication is commutative. So, the same thing, doesn't matter which order we do it. 1 times 48, 48 times 1, the answer is 48. 234 times 1 is 234. Well, what about this one? Here we put this box, which is the product, first. It doesn't matter, does it? 45 times 1, well, the product is 45. 56 is the product of what number times 56? Well, hold on. 56 and 56 are the same, so we must have multiplied it by 1, because when we multiply a number by 1, the product is the same number that we started with. Okay, now let's take that example, 13 times 1, and let's take it and just say, imagine it's not 13 times 1, but 13 times 10. This is how we draw 13 times 10. Not 13 ones with a 1 in each place value counter, but 13 tens. 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens. That makes 100, 110, 111, 120, 130. 13 tens. 13 times 10 means 13 tens. So it's like 13 ones, but 10 times bigger, because each of these 10 counters counts for 10 of the ones. And let's have a look. 13 times 1 is 13. But have a look at this one. It's 130. Can you see? When we multiply by 10, we've got the same 13. Just like we were multiplying by 1, we've got the same number 13, but 10 times bigger. So 130. And if we did 13 times 100, it would be the same thing. We'd have 13 hundredths. 10 hundredths makes 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300. And let's write it down, 1,300. So just like we've done 13 times 1 gives us 13, and only we're talking about 13 hundredths. 2 zeros here, 2 zeros here. And that's the pattern that we're always going to find when we multiply by 1, 10 and 100. So we'll see it here. I've written it out again. Do you remember what we were saying? 13 times 1 gives us 13, 13 ones. 13 times 10 gives us the same 13 as if we were doing 13 times 1. Gives us the same 13, can you see? The 13 here, but 10 times bigger because we're talking about tens. 13 tens, 130. And 13 times 100, we have the same 13, but now with 2 zeros because we're talking about hundreds. 13 hundreds, 1,300. And can you see what I've written here? In this box, I've written something which is quite important for us to know. It looks like we're just adding a 0 when we multiply by 10, or 2 zeros for multiplying by 100. But actually, it's not quite like that. This is what's really happening. 13, when 13 becomes 130, what we're doing is when we're multiplying by 10, each digit is moving one column to the left because each column is 10 times bigger. So that 110 moves one column and becomes not 110 but 100 because 10 tens is 100. And the 3 ones become not 3 ones but 3 tens. But the trouble is, we don't have anything left because each of the digits has moved one column across. Well, we need to show that there is nothing left in the ones column. I know what the maths for nothing is. 0. We put 0 in, which is what we call a placeholder. And if we had multiplied it by 100, I just changed the number there, then it worked. The 1 that was in the tens goes how many columns across? Well, 1, 2, the 3, so the 10 becomes 1,000, and the 3 in the ones, there's 2 across. But now we don't have anything in the ones and nothing in the tens, and our answer is 1,300. So that's the way it works. We are moving, to multiply by 10, we are moving all the digits one column across to make each one 10 times more. Let's do some examples. So let's see, can we see? You might be able to do it by the pattern. 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 10, let's see, I think it's 240. I think it's the same 24 and 0. Let's see, how does that work? I remember. Let's look at this bit here. Times 10 means moving each digit one column to the left to make it 10 times bigger. Well, I'm going to move the 2 from the tens to the hundreds. The 4 ones become 4 tens. I haven't got anything in the ones, and our answer is 240. Brilliant. So, can you see what it will be for 24 times 100? Well, the same 24. How many zeros? 1, 2. Okay. Let's try another one. You pause it this time, and I want you to have a go at these 3 here. And draw the place value columns if it helps you to move them 1 across or 2 across. Have a go. Okay, well, 17 times 1, when we multiply a number by 1, the product is the number that we started with, 17. Let's see, 17 times 1 is 17, and we need to make it 10 times bigger, 170. Let's try it. 17, remember we're going to move each digit one column to the left, so the 1 that's in the tens moves 1 to 100. The 7 ones become 7 tens. There's nothing left in the ones. Oof. Tick 170. And that probably helps us to see that now 17 times 100 is 17 100s, or 1700. You might even hear that said sometimes. So we get the same 17, and just like there's 2 zeros, we put 2 zeros. Our number is 1,700. Okay. You try these. Pause the video, please. Have a go. Alright. 143 times 3. 143 times 1. Our product is the number that we started with, 143. Let me write it in here. Now, to make that 10 times bigger, the 100, 10 times bigger than 100 is 1,000. The 4 tens become 4 hundreds. The 3 ones become 3 tens. And we get a 0 in the ones because there was nothing there, and so we put the 0 to show nothing in that column. That's good. And can you see what it will be for this one? The same 143. 143 times 1, 143. And then we need to make it 100 times bigger. Okay. Now, I think we're good on this. Oh, can you fill in the gaps here? What will the gap be here? Times 10 means moving each digit. How many columns? Times 10. Well, I remember 0 has 1, 10. 10 has 1 0. So we move each digit 1 column to the left to make it 10 times bigger. What shall I put over here? Times 100 means moving each digit. 100 has got 2 zeros. That reminds me. Means moving each digit in the number 2 columns to the left to make it not 1, but 100 times bigger. And we put a 0 in both cases if there is nothing in a column, if there's no digit. Okay. Now, you might say, what, Mr. McMahon, why are you asking me to move these things across in the place value columns? Why do we not just say times 10 means put a 0 at the end, and times 100 means put 2 zeros at the end? Well, the answer is that a bit later on in year 4 and then in year 5 and year 6, we're going to do calculations like this. 1.5 times 10. So let me put 1.5 in. It means 1 whole, decimal point, and 5 tenths. Now, times 10 means move everything 1 across. The 1 in the ones becomes 1 tenth. The 5 tenths becomes 5 ones. The decimal point doesn't move, and our number actually is 15. Because the decimal point hasn't changed, that's just part of the place value columns. You could, if you like, put 15.0, and that would give us the right answer, but really our best answer is 15 here. Let's have a go at this last one. Rub that one out. Change the colour of my pen. Okay, I'll go for purple. 2.8 times 10, 2.8. The 2 moves from the 1s to the 10s. The 8 moves across. Can you see? So when we have a decimal point, we are not just adding a 0. we've got to show everything moving across, so it's a really important habit to get into. Okay, enjoy the lesson today. I hope you have. You feel like you've had a chance to understand, to have a good go. For your work, you've got this to revise a bit of column addition, just 3 questions, and then a chance to practice your multiplying by 1, by 10, and by 100. Use the place value columns for the questions if it is helpful. Okay, right. Looking forward to seeing all your work, everybody. Bye.